You know, I think there is a new Michigan law that says when LittlePoet starts filming a video, there has to be multiple aircrafts that fly over her house. What's your favorite quality about a woman?
Walking with the Lord.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. And honest and loyal.
Does she have to be pretty?
Does she have to be what?
Pretty?
Sweetie?
Pretty.
Oh, pretty. Oh, yeah. I like that.
What do you think the meaning of life is?
The love of the Lord. That's the whole meaning of life. Praise the Lord. My favorite saying.
What's the hardest lesson you ever learned?
WCST invites you.
Well, that I shouldn't pimp and pander.
Pimp and pander?
Yeah, I was a pimp and a pander.
What does that mean?
15 years ago. I sold prostitutes.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I met a whole bunch in the cab and started my own business.
Oh, well, that's enterprising.
It was a lot of money, but it all went to keep me out of prison.
Chance when Sephora offered to send me this, what is it? I'm using the Grande Lash MD. Grande Lash. Everybody, I'm so happy to see you. Thank you so much for coming back and seeing me and Desi. I hope you had a wonderful week, and I'm so glad you're here. And I wanted to make sure I thanked you for your wonderful comments on my video last week. I had a rough week last week, and there was so much sorrow and drama that came through my camera lens, and when I looked at the footage, I didn't know what to do. I thought, boy, can I put that in a video? And you know, I did. And you showed me such unconditional love and understanding. It's like you were saying to me, well, whatever you need to do to get you through this, we're okay with it. And I don't have words to thank you so much for your love and understanding during this time. So thank you. Thank you so much. Today, I wanted to talk about a couple things I never talk about. I want to talk about hair. I want to talk about a eyelash growth serum. I don't know why that makes me laugh. It just does. And my hair is thicker, and I kind of wanted to chat about that because there's a few things that I have been doing, and I kind of wanted to share those things with you and see what you thought, because I don't know, thicker hair at 63, count me in. You know, over the years I have been so curious about eyelash growth serums, and I have seen so many of my fellow content creators use them with amazing success. I'm sorry, I kind of was just, I had this vision of Monica McGillicuddy. I'll list her channel below, and her lashes are so long she actually has to cut them. I'm serious, she actually has to cut them. Anyway, so I thought, okay, you know, lash serums are so expensive, like $150, and I don't know. I kind of had cold feet, and plus I really couldn't afford $150. So I kind of limped along with my own lashes, and I used black castor oil at night, and that did help strengthen my lashes. But anyway, it wasn't to the point where I had to trim them. So I jumped at the chance when the folks that make Grande Lash, this is a growth serum for eyelashes, I jumped at the chance when they said that they would send this to me for free if I would in return give an honest review of the product and show my results. And full results for this particular serum is 3 months. So how many weeks is that? 12 weeks. And I'm on week 3. And I just started noticing a little bit of difference a few days ago. But before I get to that, why don't we just go through some things real quick. This is sold at Sephora. Like I said, it's a Grande Lash. There's a lot of very interesting ingredients in this. A lot of root extracts and flower extracts. Do I know what that means? No, but it sounds interesting. And so you use this once or twice a day, whatever you wish. I chose to use it just at night, and you just put a little bit on your, like you would liquid eyeliner. That's how they want you to do it. And so in 12 weeks, you're going to see the peak of as good as it's going to get, and that will be 12 weeks. And they say your lashes are going to be longer and thicker. And it also helps prevent your lashes from falling out, which is cool. And you will have to continue on a maintenance program after that 12 weeks. So I'm not sure what the maintenance program is. I'm assuming once a week, probably, to maintain your big, long lashes, or as Kathy A would say, big honkin' lashes. Grande Lash is sold by Sephora. I just saw it today. They sell this for $65. Most that I've seen are $150, but this particular lash serum is $65. But they are running a special for $65. You get the lash growth serum, and you also get an eyebrow serum. So that's a pretty good deal this week at Sephora. But anyway, so I thought the price was right. The ingredients are good. It's very easy to use. Out of 5 stars, it gets a 4.5 star positive reviews. The reviews are very good on the Sephora website. So a lot of positive feedback. So I want to tell you a little bit about my experience, which wasn't. I've only been using it 3 weeks, but not everything was positive. I had to do some workarounds. So what I did is, I'm an older woman, so my lids are going to be a little bit swollen. So for me, this is a very tiny little applicator brush. So what would happen is, it's so tiny that I would start poking myself in the eye with it. And well, I have dry eye. I can't afford to do anything like that. So what I started to do is kind of lay the applicator on my eyes. And so the serum was getting more on my lid than on my lash line. Well, long story short, too late. What that did was I was getting too much serum on each eyelid, and it made every day was worse than the day before. My lids burned, and they were red, and they hurt, and it was really an uncomfortable situation. And I think it was because I was using too much. So I decided that I would try a workaround. I stopped using it for 2 nights, and all the pain, the redness, the swelling, that went away. So I thought, okay, I'm going to go back in again, and I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to take the serum, and I'm just going to dab it on my finger, and then I'm going to take that, and then I'm just going to push that into my lash line. And I did that every night, and boom, that was amazing. It didn't hurt, and it felt like I could target it right where I needed to get it, right on that lash line. And so it's been about 3 weeks, and I did show you a close-up. I'm not really going to take any before and after pictures because, I'm no good with that, but I am going to get right up close to the camera so you can see what my eyelashes look like now, and then what they're going to look like a month from now, and then another month after that. So we'll see what we think. I'm using the Grande Lash MD. Grande Lash. This is week 3. So I didn't really do any before and after pictures, so I'm going to get up real close here. Another thing I wanted to talk about today is getting thicker hair in our 60s. And the last 6 weeks, all of a sudden, I have more hair. I have new hair growth and my hair is thicker. And I'm really excited about it. And I so wish I could hold something up and say, hey, I started using this and my hair is thicker, but I can't do that. But I did change like maybe about 5 different things in the last few weeks, and I thought I would go over those changes to see if maybe we can kind of solve this mystery together of like why all of a sudden is my hair thicker. So like for example, like today I was in a hurry, so I didn't do anything with my hair and I pinned it up wet and here it is. And this last year, my hair had gotten so thin that I couldn't pin my hair up anymore unless I curled it first. And then I could pin it up and then it would look presentable because it had body. Well, I was so amazed today that I could just pin it up, didn't curl it, and that I felt it was presentable and had enough thickness and body where I could film a video. So I was excited about that. So let me quick tell you the things that I have changed in the last few weeks, about the last 6 weeks. And the first thing is I did in the morning start putting a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar in my water, and I drink that every morning. Some studies have shown that apple cider vinegar and your thyroid, there might be a connection there where the vinegar stimulates the thyroid, so maybe that's it. I don't know. Another thing that I changed is I was using the Shea Moisture leave-in conditioner and I ran out of it and I didn't repurchase it. So I just started to use just some generic conditioners that I had in my bathroom. So that's another change that I made. Another change is my B12. I doubled the dose of my supplement of B12. Does B12 and hair, do they have anything to do with each other? I don't know, but B12 makes me a much happier, calmer person. But I take 25 milligrams of it a day, and I used to take half that. So I upped it, and now I'm getting hair. Another thing also that changed is I go to a stylist, and I used to have highlights and lowlights put in my hair, and my stylist said, no, let's not do the lowlights anymore. What we're going to do is take the natural color of your hair and we're just going to put the highlights in, and after a while you're going to have this lovely salt and pepper look. And that sounded pretty good, so I said okay. So now I guess my hair is getting half the amount of bleach. So that could be something right there. Another thing too is I started to use I think it's called Naturals Originals. Natural Originals. It's an olive oil leave-in conditioner, and I've been using this for about 6 weeks. I talked about it a couple weeks ago because it's very green and very Irish, but it smells good too. But I just rub it into my hands and then just kind of massage it into my hair, and it's so healthy for my hair, and it takes away the frizz and it makes my hair feel thicker. But I mean, that can't be it. That wouldn't give me new growth. So and the last thing I changed is I brush my hair now every night before I go to bed. It's like I'm 10 years old again, I just kind of brush, and I brush hard, but I just brush my hair. I have a big hairbrush now. It's like 1940, and I'm brushing my hair, and I brush it really hard, and I don't know, I think deep thoughts, and no I don't. But anyway, yeah, I brush my hair 100 strokes before I go to bed now. It's just very relaxing, and I don't know, maybe it stimulates my scalp, and I don't know. I just wanted to mention all these things because I am excited that not only is my hair getting thicker, but I'm getting some new growth. About about 5 years ago, I bought an Olds 88 with 100,000 miles on it for $1,000. And that car lasted me 5 years, and it was only in the shop once. All good things must come to an end, and in one day I had an oil leak, a gas leak, and the brakes went out all in one day. Anyway, so I'm between cars. I know what car I'm getting, and that's a couple weeks from now. But in the meantime, I've been taking cabs. I've been cabbing it everywhere. And in doing so, I have met some extremely interesting people. Some fascinating men and women. And it's funny, like one guy was telling me that he's looking for true love, and he's kind of given up hope, and he was kind of teary-eyed, and then the next guy was admitting to multiple felonies, and then the next cab driver was a woman, and she was telling me how she almost killed her husband because he was an alcoholic. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is such an amazing slice of life. I mean, my life seems so boring compared to these cab drivers. But anyway, I was going to the nursing home the other night, and this older Jamaican man was driving, and I got in the car and we started driving, and I smiled at him and I said hello and told him where I was going. And he said to me out of the blue, he said, I bet you were so beautiful when you were young. And normally I think, well, maybe there was a time I would have been offended by that, but I wasn't. I knew what he meant. He didn't mean to hurt my feelings. I knew what he meant, and I smiled, and then he looked kind of like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have said that. And he said, but you're still beautiful now. And I let him know that I didn't need to hear that. I was absolutely fine. I know who I am. I know who I was, and I know who I am. And I loved my youth, and I savored every minute of it, and I told him so. And we had a nice laugh, and then we arrived at my destination, and he just slowly turned and he looked at me and he said, God gave you that beautiful smile. Use it. Use it for good wherever you can. And whew, I walked into the nursing home and I smiled, and I think I know exactly what he meant. Use it for good. Hey everybody, thank you so much for spending this time with us today. Desi and I had such a great week. We really did we had a much better week this week than we did last week, but I mean, Desi is such a good boy, and he is such a hit at the nursing home where Bill is. I mean, they just love him there, and he's such a good boy. He just doesn't run willy-nilly, he's so polite. And it's so special to see the residents there. They pet him and they ooh and ah, and then they talk about how they used to have animals when they were young, horses and dogs, and I mean, it's a beautiful experience, and Desi really likes going there. So anyway, I'm so glad that they allow dogs in nursing homes. They are so needed. But anyway, thank you so much for spending this time with us today. And I hope you have a wonderful brand new week. And when you're done with your week, come see us, okay? Once you're born poor, you're always poor inside.
I don't think so.
No amount of money, at least for me, no amount of money is going to make me feel rich.
Well, it just buys conveniences. God says don't put him ahead of the Lord. You know, don't put money ahead of the Lord.
Hey there, baby, sweet as can be. For your love, I beg, borrow, or steal. Beg, borrow, or steal. Beg, borrow, or steal. For a love like yours, I beg, borrow, or steal. Hey now, baby, don't you play so coy. Make me all jumpy like a little boy. Beg, borrow, or steal. Beg, borrow, or steal. For a love like yours, I beg, borrow, or steal. Yeah, yeah.
Here is the Creedence Clearwater, opening with their #1 record hit, Proud Mary. So let's have a tremendous welcome.